complete darkness and in...
Okay, now let's talk about the Titan. Folks, this is a picture of the Titan. It took these 5 people down to see the bow of the Titan, and they all died when it imploded. So the Titanic was a very huge ship, cruise ship, that sank in 1912. And the ship had a 2,500 capacity. And when the ship sank, 700 of those people died. Now the ship is in deep waters. You can only see the bow. The bow is usually the top of the ship, the top of the ship. You can only see the bow deep down the ocean. Now, last Sunday, 5 adventurous people set out on a dangerous mission to see the bow of the Titanic over 300 meters below the sea. So, Harding, Sanzari Dawood, Solomon Dawood, Paul Henry Nogolet, Oga French, and Stockstone Rush, Balakal Disipo Polana, and they got into a submersible. A submersible is like a boat, but you can breathe inside, that can go deep down the ocean. So they got into this submersible, and they were going down, 5 of them each. So these are the 5 adventurous tourists who decided to embark on this mission. They all died, so including the Ocean Gate CEO. Each of them paid $250,000 to be in that mission to see the bow of the Titanic. Now the crew, in the craft, they had oxygen that could last them for 96 hours. That's like 3 days. But unfortunately, the lost signal of the submersible when it went down there, and eventually it was confirmed that it exploded and everybody died. Now the question is, this was not the first time that people have gone to see the Titanic. So why did this happen to this submersible?
As hopes fade for the 5 wealthy Titanic tourists who vanished while exploring the wreck aboard a mini submarine, one question keeps arising. What happened? It is possible that no one will ever know after the sub, called Titan, suddenly went silent hundreds of miles off the coast of Canada and around 13,000 feet underwater beside the Titanic. On board was a British billionaire, one of Pakistan's richest men and his son, a famed French explorer, and the CEO of the company running the dive. They began their voyage early Sunday with 96 hours of oxygen inside the sub and have not been heard from since. Submarine experts agree that 5 possible accidents are the most likely cause. Perhaps the most obvious explanation is that the submersible became tangled in the wreckage of the Titanic itself. The ship split into 2 pieces as it sank back in 1912, and those sections now lie amidst a huge debris field on the seabed. Navigating the wreck is extremely dangerous, according to those who have dived it. It is possible that the sub's pilot got disoriented, perhaps after communications were interrupted, causing the craft to get snagged. Another explorer has described how a sudden undersea current swept his submarine into the wreck, getting it temporarily stuck. Titan is equipped with drop weights, which can be thrown overboard to give it extra buoyancy, potentially freeing it and helping it float to the surface. But if it is stuck, for example, inside the Titanic, there could be little the crew would be able to do except wait for help. A banging noise picked up on sonar could be the trapped crew knocking on the hull of the sub to attract attention. But rescuers have still been unable to find the craft. Titan could also have suffered a power outage or equipment failure. The sub relies on batteries to power the communications, and a failure could explain why it lost contact with the surface. But they also power the engines, the lights, and the heating. A catastrophic failure would have left the sub dead in the water, in complete darkness, and in freezing temperatures. If that is the case, experts say the cold could kill quicker than the lack of oxygen. Questions have been raised over the quality of the sub after one passenger pulled out over fears the company building it were cutting corners. He discovered that scaffolding poles were being used as ballast, and a video game controller was being used for steering. After that, he demanded his money back. An OceanGate engineer also previously quit over safety concerns about the structural integrity of the sub, and an industry body wrote a letter in 2018 criticising the company's experimental approach. Losing power would make the sub...
Now it is emerging from experts that they had warned that there were design defects in the making of the particular craft, because some of the materials were not suitable for the kind of mission they wanted to embark. And they added that just to make room for tourists to be part of the crew. And experts warned, one Michael Cohen actually warned them. There's also the case of Carl Stanley, who a year ago used the same craft to get added for a similar mission and hear some awkward noises in there, and warned them to be careful, that the craft needed to be checked, but his warning was ignored. Others also warned that the nature of the design was dangerous and was potentially could lead to the deaths of people, but the company that was in charge of the mission dismissed it. Now we are also hearing that a company that licenses such submersibles declined a request to inspect and license the Titan for obvious reason, because they felt that it did not follow safety standards. And one of the experts actually said that the deaths of the people was 100% avoidable. So this is Michael Cohen. He said it was 100% preventable. They just didn't listen, and that's what happened to them. It's unfortunate. The Canadian Coast Police and then the U.S. Coast Guard actually confirmed the explosion, and they said that the bodies were lost in the process, and so we have lost those people forever. May their soul rest in perfect peace. But the question many keep asking is, why was there a need to go and see the bow of the Titanic? A ship that sank so many years. When you go and see, what will that happen to you? I leave that question to you to think about. Bye-bye. Oh, and in a womb, Nyambong Naran Pintinga, Benabedilapo 1912, at the ship Wallakuni, a warrior, Quemupo, Siwapo, Kubulu Warla, a ship Nurma Janka, to say a year, Ale Quabsi no. Dilapo Quabsi Pizio Pai, Ali Janki, a warrior Mupo. To kala to Nurba a Felsinger, Balata Lingala, and ye are putting Cheseligra and ye jab, a putting singly in your jamu, a lippering jay.
As hopes fade for the 5 wealthy Titanic tourists who vanished while exploring the wreck aboard a mini submarine, one question keeps arising. What happened? It is possible that no one will ever know after the sub, called Titan, suddenly went silent hundreds of miles off the coast of Canada and around 13,000 feet underwater beside the Titanic. On board was a British billionaire, one of Pakistan's richest men and his son, a famed French explorer, and the CEO of the company running the dive. They began their voyage.
To, window dana tala, nubala banu, adane cheseligra, America linubu wamina dan tunika, $250,000. Aga jo ngaron fi kunyi anku taba sing tabanya, babula singla bampare ngaron ku jamudir nama at wamina kwi. Kala latin ba beautiful nila, to, abuno wam. Okay, so folks, this is all for this weekend. I want to thank all of you, and let's look to the new week. We shall come your way again on Sunday with another version of Bab Kwapo Wapala. To, manyini minajiam, mapule nizane de, agi bakwali chila, tamantu chap, amanya wangala mampisi, tetu wamla, mama mara, tamile bo wanju, manyini minajiam, abonyi ninyo kukere ava mu adumpung at commentary position Facebook and YouTube ma Catastrophic TV for bo felton yo for bo Ghana yo for afinye for coup for afinye chayalka for afinye bu for antan Catastrophic TV fanya yila kama annart for wananyi na kwaret ne dempa nganda gundu ati tama nyima buluku yiri na da vamu ale buluku niyak manyine minajiam bye bye.